a young person loses her life because of the bad decisions made by the grown-ups.
A 7-month-old baby who haven't even had an opportunity for life.
She laughs. She got her little mean mug. She got her little bright smiles, and she just make you happy.
If it doesn't strike you, if it doesn't hit you at home, then I don't know how you don't have any feeling for anything.
And this was a baby, and y'all took her life like that.
We can't let murderers walk among us in our community.
Let these people know that they're not in control and they're not going to take over our city.
Pain, anger, fear, and a message to whoever killed 7-month-old Desire Hughes. Tonight, we continue our coverage of breaking news. We first brought you live last night on WTOL 11. The victim, just a baby, shot and killed in West Toledo while riding in a car with her dad.
Desire was shot around 8 o'clock last night on Hillcrest at Jackman. Tonight, her killer is still on the loose.
Toledo police tell us Desire was riding in a car driven by her father, Jeremiah Hughes, and at some point, someone in another vehicle came up next to them and fired shots into their car.
Desire was taken to the hospital, later died due to a gunshot wound to the chest. Toledo's mayor says we need to bring the killer to justice.
That is retaliation for gang or drug activity. And someone can sue me if they want or send me a nasty letter, I don't care. Because there's a 7-month-old who wasn't a part of any of that. But there was a grown-up in her life that was.
Her father was grazed by the bullet, was treated and released from the hospital.
And tonight, Desire Hughes' family is left speechless as they embrace one another and demand someone be held accountable for this. Saddened and angry about her death, they tried to keep one another strong during a vigil tonight. Roxanne Elias was there and shares their message tonight. Roxanne.
Melissa, the word I kept hearing over and over again tonight is senseless. The family filled with emotions, knowing that the 7-month-old Desire Hughes will never get to grow up.
Just knowing that this baby is gone, it hurts. It hurts to know that this child is no longer with us. And it hurts.
Struck with grief, the family of 7-month-old Desire Hughes is trying to comprehend her senseless death. The little girl was killed Wednesday night in a drive-by shooting in West Toledo, and police have no suspects.
It just doesn't make any sense. I don't have no understanding about it to know that babies are dying at the hands of guns. And it's not guns, it's the people behind the guns that's killing our babies.
In a vigil tonight, the family gathers to remember Desire and all the happiness she brought to their lives.
Bright smiles, and she just make you happy. You feel me? Like you couldn't feel no type of way towards her. You couldn't have no animosity towards her. You couldn't have wanted to do something like that.
This is the second little girl killed in a drive-by shooting in the last 2 months. 10-year-old Demaya Ezel was shot to death in February, and her killer is also still out there. It's left this family demanding their community speak out if you know or saw anything.
You see something, say something. You know, and to come forth, because you took a life. You took a life. You don't hurt it family members. You don't hurt it family.
She fears someone so heartless is still out there on the streets. And if they're willing to kill a baby, then who knows what else they're capable of. This is where she calls on city officials.
And they need to get to the bottom of it and find out what is going on, because they're taking our babies away from us, the future. These are our future, and they're taking them away. Just senseless crimes, and you know, and the people that's doing it, they're heartless.
The family has been hit very hard, of course. They now want justice for both little girls, and they plan to make their voices heard until these senseless killings stop. Live in studio, Roxanne Elias, WTOL 11.
Desire was family to community activist Sean Mahone Sr. This was his cousin, and tonight he says he knows no one person can solve the violence in our community, but he says now is the time to do something to prevent another tragedy.
We now have to be able to have tough conversations with the leadership in our community, even when they don't feel good and they're very uncomfortable. But if we don't put something in place to help our younger generation that there is such thing called accountability and responsibility, then we're going to continue to have what we're having in our city.
Family members obviously feeling pain, feeling anger, questioning what's going on, searching for answers, as is Toledo City Councilwoman, at-large Councilwoman Sandra McPherson. McPherson says to WTOL 11 tonight that she has been talking with her fellow council members and her own family. And tonight, she's got a message for whoever did this.
This is a baby. And this mother and father's life has been changed forever. And it's unnecessary. You just drive down the street now, and now we just shoot at cars and shoot up cars because we have guns.
McPherson also says the time for meetings is over and it's time to take back our streets. By the way, the next Toledo City Council meeting is over a week away on May 10th.
As we mentioned, Desire is the second child killed in a drive-by shooting in just 2 months. Police still have not arrested 10-year-old Demaya Ezel's killer. Someone shot and killed her as she was riding in her uncle's car on February 13th. There is a $20,000 reward for information leading to an arrest. If you have information in either case that can get these killers off the streets, please call Crime Stoppers. And Toledo used to have a chapter of a national organization called Parents of Murdered Children. It is still active in 20 states, including Ohio and Michigan. And the goal is to provide grieving families with support, but to also never forget, because the pain never goes away.
First, we don't talk about closure. There is never closure to something like this when the lives are taken from us. But what we can do is we can offer support to the families. We offer self-help support groups, survivors helping other survivors.
Sherry says while there's been no one to lead the organization in our area, that doesn't mean it can't come back. If you think that's something you could lead, especially during this tough period in our community, go to pomc.org. And you can track the latest on the investigation right now as more information comes out. Just go to WTOL.com, click on our top story tonight. We'll post any updates online on social media and on our free WTOL News app.